my gut was always my weakness. I found that I was mainly constipated. I was probably quite dehydrated, and I don't eat wheat, dairy, sugar. I don't drink alcohol, caffeine. I don't have caffeine.
Yeah.
I you try, and every, obviously stress is a big one. But I go to bed early. But I do kind of get naturally overwhelmed and anxious about things.
Okay.
And I could go one day and just do kind of more. It's more like two stools in one type of thing, and then I might not go on the next day, or maybe even the day after that. And there's no normal. How some people just like to go every morning or to go evening. Sometimes it could be morning, sometimes evening, sometimes afternoon.
I mean, you're doing a lot of things, aren't you, with the diet changes? And how long have they been sustained? Has that been going on for quite some time now? Gluten-free,
Oh yeah.
dairy-free, sugar-free, all of that?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
Yeah.
so really long
and
term.
have all whole grains. I have a lot of vegetables. In fact, now I have before my breakfast I have some vegetables. I went to a phase of having savoury breakfast. Now I'm back on mixed with chia seeds or a mixture of flax seeds or hemp seeds, whatever. These milled ones. I've just started getting. I mix a whole grain, say if it's brown rice or quinoa or buckwheat or millet or something, with like some like a chop one date, chopped medjool date with a little bit of dairy-free milk and a little bit of organic honey. For lunches, I do have some animal protein. In fact, I had liver today, which I don't have very often. But,
oh, great. Okay.
But I do have like sometimes fish and organic chicken because I eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I don't snack in between. I do tend to kind of overeat a little bit in the evening. When I say overeat, I mean it's just like you feel a little bit like full rather than a bit more.
Would that be in the same meal, or would you then eat afterwards? So would you?
I wouldn't eat afterwards. No, once I eat and finish my meal, that is it. I don't snack.
When you eat primarily a lot of vegetable-based foods, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but your stomach acid can drop because it adapts to that, because they don't actually require as much acid. So it might help you to eat a little bit more animal protein, maybe on 4 days of the week or even 5 to begin with, just to see if you can actually start to regenerate your own stomach acid. There's also, have you heard of gentian or the bitter herbs?
Oh, yes, I have.
Yeah, that could be really helpful because it sounds like you're going to need some degree of betaine support for the next few weeks just to try and kickstart things. But then ultimately we want to fix it, and we don't just want you to live on betaine hydrochloride for the rest of your life. We need to then figure out, well, why is it low? So the stress aspect of it will lower the secretions in your gut, all of them, including the acid. So that's a really, it's a classic thing when you're under stress, because of course your body doesn't need to digest when you're in a fight or flight mode, does it? Yeah. It needs all the energy in your muscles and your focus and your ability to run away from some sort of threat. It doesn't need your attention and your energy in your gut. So stress will just stop the secretions of your saliva, your acid, your enzymes, all of it. So there might be some degree of that going on as well. But then from the side of like nutritional deficiencies, like zinc is really, really important to get your stomach acid going. There's one other thing that's sort of springing to mind for you.
Okay.
And just it's kind of further down the line. So I mean, often I've seen this situation so many times in practice, and the stomach acid support really can just sort it out, because it's kind of one of those things. Everything then downstream of the stomach acid sorts itself out in most cases. But with all of the types of beans, legumes, veggies, grains that you're eating, they contain quite a lot of lectins, which are components of the plant foods, and that can sometimes be sometimes in some people you can be sensitive to it, and that can then impact the microbiome and the gut immunity and sort of cause a little bit of aggro there. So that's just something else to keep in your mind, that sometimes like really stripping back your diet to quite primitive. So just like cutting out the beans and the lentils and the nuts and the seeds and the grains, that can sometimes relieve your system and allow it to recover a little bit. But I would think I would consider that just to see how you respond, just as an experiment, really. Yeah. Would you be inclined to eat a bit more animal protein instead, or just the things that you're comfortable with, have those on a few more days than you are? So say fish.
Sure. Okay. yeah, fish and organic chicken and
Yeah.
liver. I do all my grains, all my beans, all my nuts and seeds. I do activated, so I get
Yeah.
either buy them activated or I do them myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or soak them and same with all my grains.
Yeah, I think it's frustrating, isn't it, when you're doing all
Yeah.
of the right things and you're sort of doing it
Yeah.
by the book in terms of food
Yeah.
preparation, and still it's not right for your gut. But I think your microbiome is trying to tell you something, and when things are sluggish, I think it's worth doing, making some changes that do feel quite radical, just to see how you respond to it,
Definitely.
and then you can start to learn about how to manage it going forward.